We're all striving for a happy life. In the United States, we're conditioned to have a materialistic mindset and that the pinnacle of happiness can be reached through wealth, status, and fame. When you're getting to know someone, the first question you ask is, what job do you do? In this pursuit, we've developed a workaholic culture where we work more hours and have less vacation time than medieval peasants. People often brag about how many hours they work, seeing as a sign of status to be stressed and productive. I wanted to understand the experiences that people felt were the most meaningful in their own lives, so I wrote a book called Triumph of Experiences. It was about the longest study ever done in human history. Researchers wanted to answer a seemingly simple question: what makes a good life? It was a 75-year-long study that followed the lives of 724 men. The study started in the 1930s when these men were teenagers. The researchers monitored the men's relationships, school, work, and home life. They didn't just give surveys, they scanned their brains, did blood work, interviewed their children, and even videotaped them talking to their spouses. They became factory workers, lawyers, doctors, and one even became the President of the United States, JFK. The study found that the most important predictor for a good life was not IQ, not wealth, not social status or education level. The number one predictor of a happy and fulfilling life was relationships. Good relationships with friends and family, spouses, and community led to a good life. The first conclusion is that social connections are important for us. Participants with rich and deep connections with others lived longer, had healthier lives, and ranked higher in every metric for life satisfaction. The second conclusion is that loneliness kills. The study found that participants who felt lonely and isolated from others died earlier than those with strong connections and experienced brain function decline earlier. The current state of American society is one where we're increasingly disconnected from each other, where we spend more time alone than ever before. More than half of us feel lonely. Loneliness has been linked to a host of mental and physical health problems, including depression, anxiety, cardiovascular disease, and even early death. What can we do to reduce loneliness in our own lives? The first step is to recognize that isolation is a problem. It's easy to think that everyone else is happy and that we're the only ones struggling, but the truth is loneliness is now a widespread problem. The second step is to reach out and connect with others. There are many ways to do this, including joining a club, volunteering, attending community events, or even just striking up a conversation with a neighbor. Making these connections has become more difficult than ever due to the loss of third spaces. Third spaces are where people spend time between their home and work. Places like churches, cafes, barber shops, bowling alleys, and community centers. Losing third spaces have made it harder for people to connect. We go to work in our cubicles where we're isolated from coworkers, use our cars instead of public transportation, and we've shifted to suburbs to further isolate ourselves. Another conclusion the study found is that the quality of connections matter. It's important to have close, supportive relationships with friends and family. These are the relationships that will help us through tough times. As Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist, said, loneliness doesn't come from having no one around, but being unable to communicate the things that are important to oneself to others. No one is truly alone if they have one person that cares about them. But too often we find ourselves in relationships that aren't supportive or healthy, or we're around people who don't truly understand who we are.